Tiggity check, 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 check. We not take back no check. You pep talk. Tiggity check, 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 check. Hey girl, let's lay the shot. We know it's a while. You don't want the drama. When Tyson rise up the llama, say to pray at night with your father. He got thing by him out from the corner.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight, but it's a fight now. The great you're a good segue. I should tell you that, the great segue is in the boot. He's locked up now. Well, he's out. He bonded out. I'm just exaggerating and sensationalizing shit. Will we see the fight if Wilder's gone and got a gun charge? Got a gun charge with a 9 milli.
Look. I don't think it's really a thing. And can I just say something? Mm-hmm. Based on the carjackings that have been happening in big cities in America, I don't blame him. You could say all you want about how we should have security. You should have to look. It's easy for anyone else to say that, but with what is going on in American cities with crime, and specifically with crimes like carjacking, and with the luxury vehicle that he is driving, I cannot grip him. I do not care what anyone thinks about gun control. I am a realist. Now, where I will criticize him is if you're going to drive, you probably should not be intoxicated on any drug. But that's a whole separate issue. But do I think that Deontay Wilder is going to the big house for a while? I don't see it.
No, listen what I think, right? Deontay Wilder's already been, right. So shouts out to Ring IQ Julius. He did, he looked into Deontay Wilder's past criminal history. I didn't realize he had a domestic battery from 2013.
Yeah.
I remember he got stopped. Yeah. So I remember he also got stopped by the police and with weed in his vehicle as well a few years back. Again, he likes to smoke the weed. I don't really know that. Maybe that's why he got beaten up on the, and he thought he was drugged in the second fight. He probably was. He smoked weed. I heard the locker room smell of weed. And that's all. And that's what somebody told me off the record. No cap. It was like that on that second Fury fight, before Deontay Wilder came out, that locker room stank of weed.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yes, very interesting. But then wouldn't that have flagged up on his thingamajig? What I thought it was like that maybe he inhaled as a third party. Like they was all smoking weed, bar Deontay Wilder in the locker room, but he could have been inhaling it, and that's why he felt a little bit thing. Because the person is a very reliable person, and they was like, Shan, that was stank of weed.
I am stunned at the commission because you have inspectors there that would allow that. I'm not doubting anything that you tell me. I'm just saying that you haven't. I've been in locker rooms. I've had to be embedded as a reporter.
How is it? Yeah, how is it? Is it?
Well, basically, look, they are there to overlook your hand wraps to make sure that you're wrapping your hands with fresh equipment to make sure you're not ingesting anything that's illegal. In fact, when they take the drug test, they go all the way to the point where they're in that stall as you give your urine sample.
Yeah.
I mean, they are there as a set of eyes, and if someone is smoking up a blunt like Cheech and Chong, I have a hard time believing they would allow it.
But if it's your part of your entourage smoking in there, would the commission be like, no, they're not allowed?
No, I don't see. Here's the problem. Let's say a secondhand smoke, and the fighter then fails a drug test. I don't think that's allowed. I would be stunned if any commission saw a guy with an illicit drug of any sort would not say, all right, you got to get out of here.
And they was there. It was like, I know. And I'm with you. Now that you've put it into that perspective, so I'm like, yeah, for real, how would that slide? But it's just because who this person is. If it was just someone else, I'd be like, whatever. But he was like, Shan, that stank of weed there. I was like, really? But hey ho. We shall say nada. But anyway, so you got nicked. We call it in England. You got nicked now. You got a concealed weapon. Now, if you've already got, it can either be a misdemeanor or a felony. So if he falls into the felony, I mean, you can just get a bit of you're gonna get probation where you could probably just do some community service. A $10,000 fine. Who cares when you're a multi-millionaire like that? It's like, yeah, I'll give you 20 just for good measure. But what I'm thinking of, travel restrictions, maybe. I
don't know. I mean, look,
and up to 3 years
shooting a gun at somebody, something like this. he's not the first guy that's a celebrity or well known that's had an issue like this. I have a hard time believing this will be anything more than some administrative fines. Like you said, maybe some other things that constitute a penalty.
Service. Yeah, community
but
service.
I look until I'm not a lawyer though either, but I get the sense this will be another one of those things. And look, we literally had a guy, Gervonta Davis, that went through a lot of things that we knew about or was reported before his fight with Hector Luis Garcia. Yeah. Guess what? Come January 7th, he fought.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and he did, and that was a serious shock. But I just don't know how you can just get, like, for me, it was, I know what you're saying, because you have to have, you got, like, where you lot are, it's mad, it's crazy. Gun crime is crazy. But I don't care, you're a multi-millionaire. You should have had close guard protection riding in the whip. You should have chose a different whip to ride in. Because that scary.
But Lady Chan, let me just say something. That's victim blaming.
No.
I don't like
and shamer. I am.
I don't. To me, look, the guy can drive whatever car he wants. He could drive a Volkswagen Bug for all. I remember those cars. But anyway, I get it. But I'm just telling you, there's a lot of carjackings that do not go reported by the mainstream media in our country for whatever reason. And when you are a celebrity, you better be on guard. Now, should he have his own version of Secret Service? I guess.
Yes, have a car service, Steve. Like, I've seen lesser people do it.
I guess, but look, athletes buy cars so that they can drive them.
Yeah, I know, but you have to use your discretion. Right, I'm going to LA. I don't really want to use close guard protection. So that Pimp My Ride whip that looked like Exhibit pimped it out. Should I really bring that to LA? Maybe no. Maybe I'll have
probably a rental. Let's be honest. There's a lot of celebrities rent those cars.
No, that's his car.
If the times that I'm in Hollywood where I meet up with people, I have meetings, I have dinner, I see a lot of fancy 6-figure cars. And you know what? Nobody has security. Nobody. Really, they don't. So I don't know. I think that part, it's easy to say what we should do, but Deontay Wilder has a right to drive a nice car with the expectation that I won't get robbed. Now, is that a realistic expectation in 2023 in a major city? Maybe it's not. No,
you're not in the UK, and you didn't adhere to any of the rules. You had your license plate semi-concealed. You had your tint too dark. Plus it's a Rolls Royce that's pimped out. That's like camo colored weird. Like, it was just too much. You're doing the most. That's doing the most. And then you've got a concealed weapon in. Oh, you've come from Alabama to LA. Of course you're going to. And you're smoking weed in it. Come on. No. Sorry, that's a fail across the board. I can't. I don't know. Understand how you're making sense of it. I can only make sense that you brought a gun, but you're too rich, Deontay. Your net worth's about $30-40 million at least. I mean, no. We can go a car service. We can take an incognito car. We can have a nice car that's a backup car, but it meets requirements. This is the States. You guys have 50 different laws in your landmass. We just have really near enough one. So we just have to adhere to one. So it's pretty cohesive. He knows this. You can't bring your stand your ground laws or whatever to LA or New York. You can't do it. I know that as an English person. So why don't you? Shouts out to me. Lawyer Shan. I'm the lawyer now, Steve. I'm the lawyer.
Yeah.
Steve even went quiet.
I don't even know what to say. Look, I live in the real world. I find it hard to really be that critical of Deontay Wilder. That's all I'm going to say.
Because you love him, Steve. You love him.
I actually don't hate Deontay. I think Deontay's a bright, colorful character that brought a little bit of fun to the heavyweight division. I'm not one of these fanboys. I'm not one of those bomb squad guys, but again, I live in the real world here.
Yeah. I mean, he gets on my nerves, but I just don't think he's above reproach. I would say that about any of these athletes that keep getting caught with these guns and that. Yeah, I've seen it, and the track runners with the weed and that, and you're running track. Now you're testing positive for weed. It's not performance enhancing.
Well, I agree. Look, again, for him to smoke weed and be
I don't care
impaired in any way while driving. Now that I'm very critical of.
Yeah,
that is something that you cannot excuse.
Yeah, maybe he's used to doing that, but no, it's not a great thing. This is what I'm saying. Like, he did it all wrong. He did. Don't you see that it was just a bit disastrous? Like, he just did it in Alabama. They probably know his car. They probably like, yes, Deontay. They probably don't stop him. He smokes the weed, lean back, and driving. It's cool, but you can't. I just don't understand how he thought you could get away with that in LA. I just don't know. I've been to LA once, and yeah, it's a no. And I was downtown, and I knew to stay my ass where I needed to stay my ass, and I went there for work. Yeah, no, I know the rules. I don't smoke anyway, but I know the rules. So should Deontay Wilder. Give yourself a little break, mate. But okay, so you don't see that as that it won't infringe on the possible fight. Cool. I don't want to hear nothing because otherwise this fight is just cursed. I don't want to hear no more of it if they don't get this fight over the line in Saudi. And that's what bringing up to Saudi. That's a part of. So the Saudi showdown is Fury fumbling the bag.
I don't know. I mean, look, he.
Chickity check. We not take back no check. You pep talk. Chickity check. Hey girl, let's leave the shot. We know say Wilder, you don't want the drama. When Tyson rise up the